Good evening, everyone. We'll open the meeting and stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call for the record. Mayor Lindsay is not here. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Here.
Councilor Crane,
Here.
Councilor Weeks,
Here.
and Councilor Humbert.
Here.
We have a quorum. You may proceed.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the exception of item G, which will appear at a later council meeting.
Okay, I'll second. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. A motion to approve the consent agenda for minutes from the regular council meeting held April 22nd, 2025. Approved minutes from council work session held on April 22nd, 2025. Approved minutes from council work session held on April 29, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. The council meeting held on April 22nd, 2025, work session on April 22nd, 2025, work session held on April 29th, 2025.
I'll second. I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Request of responses from the audience. The first individual is Deb Christie.
Good evening, councilmen and ladies and gentlemen. I'm Deb Christie, and I'm here as a concerned citizen for the safety of our community in Valley. This is in reference to our two local full-time firemen, EMTs, who were placed on administrative leave without pay. These two gentlemen live in the Valley, and they want the absolute best for the fire department and for our community. They know the residents here, they see them in town, they check on patients they've had in the past, they spend their hard-earned money here, and they absolutely love it here. All of us should be extremely grateful that they are here to put their lives on the line for all of us. They deeply love what they do with all their heart, and they are the best firemen EMTs in the area. They've been partners since they both began working for the Angel Fire Department. Between them, they have 32 years of firefighting EMT experience, and one is a highly skilled paramedic. The other firemen on staff reside in Albuquerque, outside of Taos, a significant distance, and in Cimarron, with the chief primarily living in Albuquerque. There are call records showing if he's here or in Albuquerque. Our two local firemen are always here, available as backup, and they provide backup constantly for these other firemen when they're on duty. When our local firemen are on the call, they have no backup. If something happens to them while on duty, backup must come from Red River or Taos. It is unacceptable that they are not supported by our other staff firefighters. Those people simply cannot get here in time. Not only are our local guys on their own, but our community is also on its own. We as citizens of the community of Valley should be outraged by this. Our communities continue to be developed. There are more housing complexes being built and plans for more in the future. We need highly qualified, skilled, experienced local first responders to take care of visitors and of us. If our two local firemen are terminated, then who's going to replace them? More people from Albuquerque or from other areas not in the Valley? We all need to be aware how vulnerable we are if we lose these two men, how vulnerable they have been for a very long time and continue to be with no backup. Our fire department is currently not fully staffed with these two men on administrative leave. We're already vulnerable. Again, this is not acceptable. The National Fire Protection Association 1710 standards sets benchmark standards for response times for career fire departments. A standard response time in mountainous areas is not set per se. The response time is dependent upon the number of personnel available. Without our two local firemen's backup, without others as backup, the response time is hours. If we have a mass casualty situation, such as a disaster on the chairlift, we quickly run out personnel here locally to respond in a timely manner. These two men care more about the people here than any of us truly realize. They are here to support us in more ways than we can imagine. They are very professional and they are the best at what they do. Hopefully, I'll never need their services of these incredible, highly skilled men. But if I do, I want to be sure that they're here to protect and care for me and all of us here in this room in Valley. Thank you, councilmen and ladies and gentlemen, for your time and attention.
Next individual is Marlene Vance.
Oh, hi, I just,
Ms. Vance, could you?
Okay, sorry. I am Marlene Vance, and I'm a full-time resident here at Angel Fire. I'm happy to be here. And when I signed in, I didn't mean that it was a speaker. I'm just here. I just thought it was like a sign-in page, so. Hello.
Next speaker is Laura Nadeau.
Hi, I'm actually a resident of Eagle Nest, but I work in Angel Fire. And I just have a couple things I'd like to clarify. I understand that the chief was hired last July while living in Albuquerque. And I believe that he had a short period of time to move and live here full time so that he could actually lead the crews that are here and be able to respond in an emergency as they take place. Because we all know emergencies don't take place on a calendar or on the schedule. So, you know, I'd like to know, when did he move to the village full time? Is he even in the village full time? What are his qualifications for the position? What leadership positions has he held? Because it takes a real strong leader to lead a fire crew. And then I want to know, have any of you had any emergencies that required services from the fire department or the police? I have, and I want to tell you my story. So I was staying at the Golden Eagle RV park. My husband had left for the day and I had an emergency. I woke up and I didn't know what was going on with me. I fell immediately upon waking up and I called some neighbors quickly to come help me. They called and got a hold of a doctor who was staying in the park. He came to assist me. He did all the assessments on me. He thought I was having a heart attack, and because of my medical history, I could have very well been having a heart attack. Took 10 to 15 minutes and I finally got an ambulance there who was the new girl from Eagle Nest. And it took over 45 minutes to get a paramedic. Do you know why it took that long? He had no idea he was on call. So had I been having a real heart attack, I would not be here to have this story for you. Which is very, very upsetting. In summary, all my concerns and questions all come down to being comfortable in an emergency and know that I can count on qualified and timely help when needed, because all of us here deserve that. And as a sidebar, I called and texted numerous times today to see if this meeting was still on. I got zero response or answers. I contacted Brett, the office, both the fire and the police department. You know what I got with the fire and police department? I got a voicemail. And that was during business hours. So I'm just very concerned as a resident and worker in this valley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Those are proclamations. Staff reports. First staff report is Parks and Recreation Director Shay Tiblis.
Good evening. First of all, I'll start with the testing of the floors. We're testing the radiant floor heat at the community center. That started on Thursday of last week. And they were going to come back today to see the progress, but they didn't come back today for obvious reasons. So I think they'll be coming out tomorrow to see the results of that floor testing, because I guess they did what they had to do and then it has to sit for a few days. And so that's what they did. We also have a plumber that is going to be coming out. He was also going to come out today to look at the broken pipes and just to try to fix some of the leaking issues. But that's gonna have to be rescheduled probably for next week. The west side of the building, the design and plans are being looked at and approved for how we want to proceed with that next. Trails Plus grant money was received and is in the village account. We're discussing options for design engineers and companies with whom we'd like to go with to get the trail going. Hoping to reapply again in July for that same grant. Allen Fields Public Works is ordering materials to start the water lines and such out there. Finalizing the concession design and the bathroom design is also what we've been working on. And softball tournaments are supposed to start out at the Allen Fields on Saturdays, starting in June. They're just gonna be doing like the 1-day tournaments again on Saturdays. And then we'll have a couple 2-day tournaments also. I don't have those set in stone yet. And day camp is coming up. Have a lot of people asking about it. And I'm gonna start advertising, for the positions and see if we can get them filled and hopefully get the community center with everything back to normal pretty soon. So that's all I have if you have any questions. No? Okay, thank you.
Next staff report is Tourism Director Greg Ralph.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Councils. Tourism Director report, update on our advertising campaign. We resumed advertising in terms of digital media, social media advertising and posts and out of home, display ads at gas stations, billboards and those kind of things in our target markets. We started that up again in mid-April for summer bookings. And it ramps up. It starts off minimal in mid-April spending and ramps up in May and then into June. The messaging on it has been Vacation Unplugged. And then we're also focusing on all our events, trying to drive traffic around Bull Fiesta, balloons, Fabulous Thunderbirds, and those things that we've invested in to try to get people here. The Bull Fiesta is seeing a strong response already. It's the first event, Memorial Weekend, for their advertising. And it's interesting, the two markets that are responding the strongest are Denver and Phoenix. We don't spend a lot of money in those markets, but there's trickle media that goes into them. But those are the people that are interested in it. Talking to people, all we can think about is maybe those markets traditionally, summer does start Memorial Day weekend. They don't wait till middle of June. On the balloons and airfare, the information's out. It's got drone racing, kites and gliders, bigger, better kites this year. Social interest is strong and engagement, website engagement, people interested, wanting to attend the event is stronger than last year. So be prepared for more cars and more people this year. Our new digital sign will be delivered this week. The LED panels are being delivered later this week, early next week, with install on the week of the 26th. So that'll be up and running by summer. On our event center, on our permanent plans, our last meeting, looking at finances and everything else, what we can move forward on, we have directed the planning and architecture groups to pursue a 16,000 square foot single story option that would still have the big room, the commercial kitchen, everything we need, but it would eliminate the cost of elevators and those things that come in with a second floor and make it more affordable for an Angel Fire budget. 16,000 square feet, just for reference. If you've been in the Red River Conference Center, the one on the river there, that whole facility, the whole building is 10,000 square feet. So it'd be 60% larger than that, which probably is large enough to accommodate most of our needs for a long time. The goal would be to have it to the north, open up, big glass walls, patio, so you can expand into the outside too, for groups and meetings and those kind of things. So that's the plan there. Hopefully we'll have some new designs and things to get out in the next week. on our temporary facility. The stage was delivered yesterday. It's in Frontier Plaza parking lot right now. Couldn't quite get it over here in the weather. The tents in town, the barricades are here. Turf is the main variable, as you know. Item G on the agenda was the turf RFPs. We had some timing issues with install. We want to do a little more research on that tomorrow. And that will go back on the special session agenda for the 13th. But they've done a plan now. We've got this is a temporary one. This is my revision from that. That's gone to the architect. So you can see where the tent is, the stage is, and potential parking. What do you now get to? That's all I have for you this evening. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next staff member is Finance Director Adrian Rendon.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Clerk Strickland, Manager Weirs. Well, I'm gonna forget you, boss. The only thing I've got for you is that starting this month, we started doing random spot checks of the payment vouchers that are going out. This last round that went out, 8 were selected, 5 of them were selected as randoms, 3 were targeted because they're pill purple items, things that would go well inside of people's homes. So within 72 hours, I had responses back on all 8. They all passed. All the items are accounted for. However, it's not closed out yet. I've got 2 of those that were selected at random that I'm actually gonna go out and put hands on those items. For those items, they were truck tires for one of our vehicles, and then just a cache of batteries that were purchased. So once I go out there and put my eyes on that, we'll be able to close this one up and we're 100% accounted for. That's all I got for you, unless you have questions for me.
Manager.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, yeah, this is just step one of an auditing process that we're gonna be implementing over the next year, internal audits for all of our expenditures. And we're going to expand that along with analytics that Director Rendon is developing right now that will be available to all of the directors so that they can go in and troubleshoot their purchases and acquisitions that they have within the village. So hopefully we'll have some technology deployed that will be looking for things, oddities in our system, and report that back to the appropriate director so they can take action on those items.
Thank you. Next staff member is Code Enforcement Officer Joel Legg. I'm sorry. Well, come on up. Yeah.
I'll make it quick, don't worry. That's right. Councilman, Manager Weir, Mrs. Strickland. So first I'm going to start off with orders of business for code enforcement and to be more thorough on what was discussed last time. So these are steps that I've implemented into this that I plan on taking myself and Reggie both, the planning and zoning director. And this is mainly relating to Title IX, which is building permits and stuff. So first one is establish effective communications between all village entities. This includes the Village of Angel Fire, Planning and Zoning, the Architectural Committee, Angel Fire Police Department, Angel Fire Fire Department, and Public Works. This way, everyone will be in the loop on how we can all work together to approach and resolve non-compliance issues. Because at times it can become diverse. We may have to contact a certain department relating to that. Second is create an organized system such as a table or spreadsheet, which Reggie and I are working on as of now, store and track open permits, closed permits, and permits that are not in compliance. This will also include violation notices, stop work orders, and citations that have been issued by the code enforcement officer and myself. Labeled by dates and times and penalties in an orderly fashion. So they'll have times, they'll have dates, when it was issued, when they received it, stuff like that. Number 3 is provide and obtain accurate documentation and discovery for investigative matters. Just so we can cover ourselves in case someone has a concern or it becomes legal in this case. 4th is provide contact information for certain village departments, work only, such as emails and phone numbers via website or social media to direct people to the right source of information in case people come in with concerns regarding the issues. 5th is recognize formidable and legitimate contractors who are licensed in the state of New Mexico. This has been an ongoing problem since day one, as you guys know. There's been con artists out there. There's been people that advertise as contractors, but they're not licensed in the state of New Mexico. So in that case, CID could be involved and it could become legal in that case. Number 6 is recognize unlicensed contractors, as I kind of described before that. And so it is crucial that these steps are followed in order to address issues consistently and effectively. I think if we follow that, we should be okay as far as organization. And next I'll move on to the process of addressing a violation. If a construction project is underway, specifically and not in compliance, first, mainly what I'll do is a stop work order. It'll be issued to the homeowner or contractor, and a stop work order basically is a directive from a government agency or a homeowner or whoever is responsible for the progress of the project to halt and cease and desist from the work that is being done on a particular project or job site. And that relates to code violations, not being in compliance. So basically, it's basically just a warning to let them know. It doesn't go on their record or anything, but it'll be either posted on their door or served to them in person. So depending on the code or ordinance, the violator will generally be given a 2-week time frame to come in compliance. They will be notified of the permitting process with the Angel Fire Architectural Committee as well, which we've been back and forth, as Jake knows, Councilman Crane. We just need to establish a more effective communication between AFPO as well. I think that's really important. So now we're moving on to citations, if this doesn't work. A citation will only be issued if the given time frame of compliance has been reached and the issue has not been resolved. The homeowner or contractor will be issued a criminal summons to appear before Angel Fire Municipal Judge Richard Hill. So mainly in Title IX, they'll be guilty of a petty misdemeanor depending on what the judge says, if they continue to not be in compliance. So yeah, that's it with that. So yeah, there is a step-to-step process that we have to take, but we will make sure that we notify the violator. And yeah, that's all I got, so.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
Next is Public Works Director Kurt Epler.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Howell, Council, Manager Weir, Clerk Strickland. It snowed. Yeah, fine. I guess we could call it snow. Crews were out all day today. Summer's still out. It's very challenging conditions today. I want to say that we have a few challenging days ahead of us as this stuff starts to melt, and of course, we're probably going to get some more tonight. We're going to have higher temperatures, and everybody should be aware that some of the snow removal measures, once the water starts running, it's going to impede the flow of water in places. So we're going to have some issues. We'll be out tomorrow trying to stay ahead of some of those. The community should be prepared for some challenging days. Probably the next 4 or 5, maybe even more days are going to be pretty challenging. And but it was a good day. It was nice to get out and move snow again, but I do want to take the time to say it was a collaborative effort today. Maintenance department, who is deemed a non-essential department, still came in today because they knew they had stuff to do. One of the first things they had to do is take care of the 6-foot pile of snow in front of Village Hall. And just about the time they got the sidewalks clear, the state came by on another pass, so we got to clear them again. Water department was transporting fuel to motor graders so that they wouldn't have to come all the way in, so they could stay on task. We were helping them get to their facilities. It was just a good collaborative effort with those three departments today. I was really proud of all of them. As you know, most of the streets department comes from out of town, and they had some pretty challenging conditions getting here, including having to drive under down power lines. Yet they made it. So proud of those guys, every one of them. As we're all well aware, we woke up this morning to no power, and as you can imagine, this created a point of stress with our water department, because all of our components were without power. No wells were running, no booster pumps, nothing. I do want to say that once the power did come back on, to reinforce our decision to install SCADA at all of our facilities, what took the water department today less than an hour to get everything online, pumping water and moving, prior to SCADA would have taken all day. And with the conditions, some of the booster pumps, they may not even been able to get to them today because of the weather. Being able to remotely control the pumps was paramount. We didn't miss a beat in the water department. On projects, obviously the Country Club Drive project is postponed, as I'm sure all the other projects they had in this vicinity of the state from this weather. I have been assured that they will still complete the project prior to the deadline, which is the week before Memorial Weekend. We shall see. Mother Nature cooperates. Water department did start with the water line out at Allen Fields, as Mr. Dibblish stated. We did discover that the tie-in point for the water was 400 feet away from where it was reflected on the plans. But we did get tied into it and just started to get some momentum going on that project prior to the snow. But we're moving forward with that. Not much else to on the regular update right now, so I stand for any questions.
Kurt, do we know if there's still people without electricity in town?
I don't know for sure. I know that there is one of the phases that Kit Carson is having troubles with that I know is affecting our sewer plant, our public works area. And I think some of the residents throughout town, and this is a guess, that are experiencing intermittent power surges and flashes may have something to do with that one phase. I will say that as one of the crew members from Streets was pulling onto Camino Grande this morning, the transformer right next to the intersection blew up as he was driving by. Half hour later, we were in the shop putting chains on equipment, and the transformer outside the Public Works building blew up as well. So we are without one phase of power at the sewer treatment plant. It is still functioning properly. We are running the headworks off a generator, and it's doing very well. But portion of Public Works shop doesn't have power. Heat's working. But the fuel pumps are not. So that it's been a bit of a scramble, but we got it all figured out and worked out. It's been a sporty day. But maybe Manager Weir has heard from more people in regards to power. It's my understanding that there's still a lot of people to the south and the north of us that are in other communities that are without power. I know Kit Carson has a lot of challenges out there. I think we should all wish them the best, because through this storm cycle in the last couple of days, which I would describe as rather violent, they've had crews working through the night, both days. So we should all give thanks to Kit Carson for doing the best. Anything else?
All right, thank you, Kurt. Next is Planning and Zoning Director, Reg.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, he was not able to make it due to weather conditions. I don't know if y'all know where he lives, but 2 miles behind the Valverde area, which is behind the memorial. So he lives out in the boondocks and couldn't make it in.
Thank you. Any committee reports? We don't have any old business. New business,
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, for item A, it should be liquor license, not wholesale.
I'm sorry,
For item A, it should read liquor license, not wholesale.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item A. Public hearing is now open. The Village of Angel Fire presents the following to the public. Item 1, liquor license for Knuckles Brewery. Would anyone from the public like to speak to this? If not, item A is closed. Item B, discussion of liquor license for Knuckles Brewery.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, councilors, and Manager Weir. I'm speaking on behalf of Knuckles Brewing Company. Just want to let you know that they have already had their public hearing with the New Mexico Licensing Regulation and Licensing Department. The business address located at 20 Sage Lane is a C1 office, retail commercial zoning district, which means this district allows eating and drinking at the establishment. Also, the ad for this request has been posted in the Tufts News for 30 days. The village has not received any communication for or against this liquor license. And that's all I have. I'll stand for any questions.
Okay. Item C, can I get a motion to approve? I'm sorry, item B, approved liquor license for Knuckles Brewery.
Make a motion to approve liquor license for Knuckles Brewery.
I'll second. Second.
Roll call vote on item B. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Councilor Crane,
Aye.
Councilor Weeks,
Aye.
and Councilor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item C, discussion to approve Annex A for Village Code Police Department scheduling and hours. Chief Holger.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman, Manager, Clerk Strickland. First, let me apologize for the attire I'm in. I soaked up my uniform today, so I'm in more of a tactical look. This isn't the norm. What I am presenting to you, and I apologize because our printer, with all the other power outages and everything, is not online, so I've just got some notes here on my phone. The Appendix A for the police department, drafted this much like the Wildland Fire Crews have, which is an addendum to the 40-hour work week, versus what I am asking to go to, which is an 80-hour pay period. So 80 hours every 2 weeks, that gives a little more latitude for me to schedule 1 week and more hours a second week, but we still come out with the necessary 80. It fits our rotating schedule that we are currently utilizing and is working very well to give additional early morning hours or late night hours of coverage throughout the village. And the other thing it will do is it will stop the para deduction when an officer works a scheduled 36 hours a week, and then the following week works either 44 or more hours. Para, by their rules, says, well, he's supposed to be on a 40-hour work week. He only got 36, so we're going to deduct a portion of the retirement benefit.
So it will fix that as well. And it also, the last portion of it there kind of better defines staying over an emergency or critical incident call outs or callbacks. And I would, this has been vetted by legal, myself, Mr. Ware, and others. The staff is in favor of this, and I would ask for your blessing to adopt this Appendix A.
No questions. Can I get a motion to approve Annex A for Village Code Police Department scheduling and hours?
Make a motion to approve Appendix A for Village Code, Police Department scheduling and hours.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item C. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item D, discussion to approve request to go out for bid scales and solid waste. Heard of them.
Good evening again. Mayor Pro Tem Howe, Council. Your Weir and Clerk Strickland. January of 2024, Mayor Lindsay asked me to start moving towards getting scales at solid waste. So especially heavier loads that are taken to solid waste could be charged by weight at a consistent rate as opposed to yardage. What we would like to do is go out to request for bid to see who can provide this service and the functionality that we would desire as far as being able to have an unmanned scale station at the point of sale could be handled with different technology at the scales. We wouldn't have to have somebody sitting in a scale house. There are not very many vendors around, but I have been in contact with one that intends to respond to this bid. And hopefully we'll see if we can get some other interest. Anybody has any questions?
I guess too, the scales could be read from inside remotely inside the building too.
Yeah, there's apparently there's different technology where when people get on the in scale, they can swipe a credit card and the sale is completed on the out scales. I'm a little concerned about that because there is going to be traffic is going to have the ability to go around the scales. We're not going to have daily trash. People have to go on the scales, things that, you know, are generally not charged for. But they have multiple options out there, and we're just it's gonna play, you know, real heavy in the request for bid. We will list the requirements that we have, and a point of sale that matches our facility will be something that they will have to provide to do a qualifying bid.
Would there be a speaker capability from the vehicle inside the building if the person was having difficulty?
Absolutely, yeah. And we will be seeking the work to be completely turnkey, given that scales sit on concrete abutments and they have to be very precise. We're asking the company not only be able to provide the scales, but do the concrete work as well. And in discussions with one of the vendors, really what they would require from us is a conduit from the scales to the solid waste facility. And they could utilize that conduit for any technology, any communication needs, anything.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve request to go out for bid scales at solid waste?
Make a motion to approve the request to go out for bid scales at solid waste.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item D. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item E, discussion to approve purchase of a Vermeer VX50 vacuum excavator. Kurt Epley.
This piece of equipment has proven to be invaluable to the water department and other departments as well. Anytime we're doing any excavation where existing utilities are present. Essentially what it is a large machine, a huge vacuum chamber and a pressure washer. And you literally spray the dirt and vacuum it up and it not only allows us to find those existing utilities, but as we're approaching a water line that we're trying to do repairs, we can do the last part of the excavation with this. It keeps us from further compromising the pipe. We do currently have one. It has been a godsend to have. It's very valuable. It's still in relatively good shape. But as we've achieved good staffing levels in water department and been able to split into 2 crews, it is such a vital tool to have. And over the last year, they've utilized the vac trailer a lot more than they did in the past. And we've had a far fewer claims of broken utility repairs and it's a very valuable machine. It vastly increases the safety of a dig. And I just really feel that it's an addition that the water department needs now that they're staffed to be able to divide and conquer, if you will. And we intend to pay for it with GO bond dollars.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve purchase of a Vermeer VX50 vacuum excavator?
Make a motion to approve purchase of a Vermeer VX50 vacuum excavator.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item E. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item F. Discussion to approve application for fiscal year 26 RAID reimbursement grant resolution 2025-18. Julie Cohen.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Howe and Council, Manager Weir and Madam Strickland. Before you have the resolution to apply for the RAID grant. This is a reimbursement grant. The Solid Waste Department, which is to purchase a tire shearer. This will cut pedestrian or small vehicle tires into 4 equal sections. Saving money for the village because right now our landfill charges us for full tires. And hopefully at our next, we can offer an incentive to our village residents, bring in 4 tires and pay for 1 to help clean up the tire situation in our village, tire abatement problem that we have. And I'll stand for any questions.
Is this any size tires?
No, just regular vehicle, passenger vehicle tires, not like big jumbo tires.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve application for fiscal year 26 RAID reimbursement grant resolution 2025-18?
Make a motion to approve application for fiscal year 26 RAID reimbursement grant resolution 2025-18.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item F. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item H, discussion to approve adoption of new ordinance for prowling. Repeal of existing ordinance escaped.
Thank you again, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Manager, and Clerk. So So what I have here is just exactly that. It's an offense relating to public order and safety. It will be repealing 52B-19, which is escape from custody. While that is not related to a prowling ordinance per se, escape from custody is currently in our code as a petty misdemeanor. It is in state law as a felony offense for an escape or an attempted escape from either a jail or a person. We simply don't need it in our local code, so I'm asking for the repealing of that. We can reuse that same number, or perhaps if the clerk deems it necessary otherwise, we will have unlawful prowling. And prowling kind of fits a need that we don't currently have. Get to my notes here again. We don't currently have an ordinance on prowling. Most municipalities do. This kind of bridges the gap between window peeping, which is, as you can imagine, getting very close to a residence and peering through the windows for no lawful purpose. And the other kind of end of that spectrum is trespassing on real property, which requires a notice be given or a notice that is posted. Prowling is the unlawful being on another person's property when we know there's criminal mischief afoot, essentially. So I would ask the council to allow this to go out for, Ms. Clerk, it goes for advertisement next, is that correct?
Yes, for 14 days.
To approve this for advertising and then to come back before the council for final approval, if it's your will. I think it's definitely needed in the village. I've been here just shy of a year and we have had occurrences where a prowling ordinance could have been utilized or charged. There is not a state law on prowling, so we were unable to address it in that manner. I'd stand for any questions.
That was gonna be mine, is have we come across this and haven't been able to, so thank you. for
We
that.
have, sir.
Wasn't a bear.
There wasn't a bear there, although bears get out there and prowl a lot too. Bears and raccoons, they're the worst. Those little banded raccoons.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve adoption of new ordinance for prowling, repeal of existing ordinance, escape?
Make a motion to approve adoption of new ordinance for prowling, repeal of existing ordinance, escape.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item H. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Item I, approve Jeff Gilmore moving from part-time to full-time. Manager Weir.
Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and council, when you approved the position for a airport administrator, it was originally presented to the council as a part-time position because Mr. Gilmer, who we were looking to hire for that position, was only willing to take part-time, and in addition, we were trying to make sure we were holding back on cost, since the airport was something new and we didn't have the experience in managing its budget. But since then, it is become obvious that especially with the work that has to be done to transfer the property physically from the county to the village, that Mr. Gilmer is working at time and averaging over 30 hours a week, which qualifies him for full-time status as opposed to part-time status. And so in order to make the budget match our expenditures, I'm requesting that the council approve this change. We will, just so you know, we probably are going to go about between $20,000 and $30,000 over budget for personnel at the airport. But it's not all Mr. Gilmer. It's also one of the two employees went on maternity leave, so we had to bring in another part-time person to try and cover for that individual. But between those two, the budget and payroll for the airport will be exceeded this year by $20,000 to $30,000.
If there's no questions, can I get a motion to approve Jeff Gilmer moving from part-time to full-time?
Make a motion to approve Jeff Gilmer moving from part-time to full-time.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item I. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item J. Discussion to approve additional position for a full-time receptionist at Village Hall, Manager Weir.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Council. Once we brought our new director on and we started analyzing workloads between our staff and some things that we're trying to accomplish to increase the accuracy of our utility billing. We believe that it's no longer practical for the utility billing clerk to also be acting as a receptionist. And so what we're asking to do is to move the utility billing clerk, which works now at the front desk, back off the desk, and to have that along with some additional analytical duties be a full-time position and not a receptionist. But in order to maintain customer service, we do need 2 people at the front desk. And so we're asking to add an additional head count for our front desk receptionist so that we can move the utility billing functions off the front desk as part of the finance department.
There's no questions. Can I get a motion to approve additional position for a front receptionist at Village Hall?
Make a motion to approve additional position for a front receptionist at Village Hall.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item J. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item K. A motion to move into an executive session for NMSA 10-15-1 H2 to discuss limited personnel matters.
Make a motion to move into executive session for NMSA 10-15-1 H-2 to discuss limited personnel matters.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item K. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed and we're going off the record.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like for you to invite Chief Vance into this meeting.
Chief Vance, would you please attend this executive session? All right, for the audience, we'll be going in